Today's news highlights 20250808. Date August 8, 2025. Republic of China August 8, 114. Time cutoff, 1500 hours on the same day. News focus: a 34-year-old man in Henan suffered from dysphagia and melena, and was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and his grandfather and parents also suffered from the disease. Doctors found that a family is accustomed to eating hot food over 60 degrees, and long-term high-temperature stimulation increases the risk of cancer. Asia has a high incidence of esophageal cancer, with an early cure rate of 80%. Common symptoms include difficulty swallowing, weight loss, chest pain, vomiting or coughing up blood, hoarseness, and chronic cough. Prevention should avoid overheated foods, processed foods, and lying flat after meals, eat more fruits and vegetables, quit smoking and alcohol, and recommend regular gastroscopy screening for high-risk groups. News focus: the latest Nature study shows that viral infections such as influenza or COVID-19 can awaken breast cancer metastatic cells that were originally dormant in the lungs, forming new tumors in a short period of time, and increasing the risk of recurrence. The key is the inflammatory factor IL-6, which stimulates cancer cells to wake up and inhibit cancer-killing CD8 plus T cells through CD4 plus T cells, acting as a protective umbrella. Analysis of large databases confirmed that the risk of lung metastasis increased by 44% after COVID-19 infection in human breast cancer survivors. Experts recommend that convalescents take strict precautions against infection, monitor inflammatory indicators, and reduce the chance of recurrence through an anti-inflammatory diet, good work and rest, and stress management. News focus: U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 100% tariff on imported semiconductors and chips, but those who set up or promise to set up factories in the United States are exempt, and TSMC is immune from the impact due to its $165 billion investment in the United States. Encouraged by the news, TSMC's stock price hit a new high of 1,180 yuan. Lu Jingqing, chairman of the National Development Council, emphasized that TSMC's key technology and R&D teams mostly stay in Taiwan, and their advantages can be maintained. Experts remind that the exemption standards and scope of taxation are still unclear, and manufacturers need to continue to pay attention. The government also plans to strive for zero state tax and supply chain cooperation in the United States, and take stock of the risks that may be affected by mature processes. News focus: the CCP has long taken manufacturing as its core strategy, investing huge amounts of money in emerging industries such as new energy and artificial intelligence, but ignoring the development of the service industry, resulting in weak domestic demand, overcapacity, and continued deflation. In order to chase GDP, local governments have expanded their production capacity to a large extent, ignoring market demand, and intensifying inventory pressure and price wars in industries such as electric vehicles. Experts pointed out that under the CCP system, power is concentrated, subsidies are oriented to the supply side, and there is a lack of social security and innovation investment, making it difficult to transform into a consumption-oriented economy. Rising labor costs, an aging population and international tariff pressures are making China's manufacturing industry face long-term concerns, and the economic model shows no signs of changing so far. News focus: U.S. President Donald Trump called on Intel CEO Chen Liu to resign on August 7, saying that his relationship with Chinese companies constituted a serious conflict of interest. Senator Cotton previously sent a letter to Intel, questioning Chen Liu's investment in more than $200 million in Chinese military-related companies through individuals and funds, and mentioned that the company had violated U.S. export controls during his tenure at Cadence Electronics. Intel received nearly $8 billion in funding from the CHIPS and Science Act, and Cotton is worried about its national security risks. Intel denied the threat, pledged to maintain U.S. security and communicate with Cotton. After the news broke, Intel's stock price fell nearly 5% in pre-market trading. News focus: excessive sweating in summer can easily lead to water and salt loss, causing electrolyte imbalance and cramps. Traditional Chinese medicine believes that sweat is the heart fluid. Excessive sweating damages qi and depletes fluids, making muscles malnourished and stiff. To relieve cramps, you can massage the parathyroid point and Bei point, or drink Yuping Feng San, Shen Mei I drink, and other prescriptions for the constitution to stop sweating and nourish fluids. For those who continue to sweat and cramps, traditional Chinese medicine often uses cinnamon twig and kudzu root decoction for conditioning. Adults who sweat profusely can use Gizi plus dragon bone oyster decoction, and those who sweat a lot and are afraid of cold can use Gizi plus aconite decoction. Avoiding excessive sweating and proper hydration and electrolytes can reduce the incidence of cramps. News focus: in recent years, the confrontation between the United States and China has intensified, and the Davidson window predicts that 2027 will be a dangerous period in the Taiwan Strait, and European countries such as Poland have also expressed anxiety. However, Qi Lei, a scholar at the National Defense Academy, pointed out that the PLA's goal in 2027 is to practice internal skills and build the three foundations needed to invade Taiwan by force, which is really threatening, or in 2035. The key is that the Information Support Force, which will be established in 2024, will need about 10 years to complete the Joint Operations Information System. The risk will increase at that time, but whether to go to war will still depend on political decisions and the international situation. The United States and China are divided on the strategic layout of the Indo-Pacific, with the United States seeking to stick to the first island chain and China trying to break through. News Focus. Google's Notebook LM is quickly gaining popularity among Taiwanese users with its powerful AI note-taking capabilities. Johnson & Johnson, a founding member and American media personality, suggested that novices first randomly upload 10 recent documents to the same notebook and start asking questions to test Notebook's understanding and organization ability. He also put forward 5 practical instructions and 8 ultimate usage suggestions, emphasizing building an everything notebook to make AI the assistant that understands you best, improving learning and work efficiency. Mastering these tips can maximize the effectiveness of Notebook LM beyond the average AI note-taking experience. News Focus. After returning to the White House, U.S. President Trump implemented reciprocal tariffs, imposing 20% tariffs on Taiwan, higher than 15% of Japan and South Korea, impacting exports of electronic components, steel and aluminum and medium and high-tech products. Taiwan's exports to the United States account for more than 10%, and high tariffs may compress corporate profits, shake investment and employment confidence, and trigger exchange rate depreciation and imported inflation risks, and small and medium-sized enterprises and supply chains will also be affected. The export recession will reduce government taxes and increase fiscal pressure, forming a comprehensive economic stress test. News Focus. Since 1996, the Real Estate Yearbook has filled this gap, accumulating detailed data and expert analysis spanning 30 years, becoming an important knowledge platform for the industry. The yearbook covers residential, office, retail and other markets, recording price changes and policy evolution, and promoting industrial transparency and institutional construction. In the future, it will continue to pay attention to smart buildings, net zero emissions, and AI technology to help the sustainable upgrading of real estate, becoming a long-term reference trusted by the industry and an important bridge for Taiwan to go international. News Focus. The new reciprocal tariffs imposed by U.S. President Trump on about 90 countries took effect on the 7th, with some countries such as the European Union, Japan, and South Korea having tariffs of about 15%, Taiwan 20%, and Canada as high as 35%. Trump threatened to impose 100% tariffs on semiconductors, and tariff measures may continue to expand, causing international concern. Economist Krugman criticized the new agreement as empty. The EU did not commit to the huge investment Trump called, and the ambiguity of the two sides' positions may bury disputes. Even if tariffs are raised to 35%, the impact on the European economy is limited, but most of the trade war ammunition has been consumed, and if Trump escalates tariffs again, the EU may be forced to fight back, and the global trade situation is still highly uncertain. News Focus. The mortgage policy has become stricter, and the difficulty of buying a house with a loan has intensified. The Financial Supervisory Commission and the Ministry of Finance jointly demanded yesterday, 7th, that banks should not arbitrarily reject first-time buyers, owner-occupier buyers and those who have already made loan commitments, and give priority to providing mortgage resources. In the past 6 months, there has been an increase in complaints against the new Ching-in loan and the central bank's loan restriction order, mainly due to loan difficulties, slow allocation and insufficient loan ratio. The Financial Supervisory Commission also requires banks to set up a single appeal window to speed up the handling of disputes and prohibit the tying of mortgage life insurance to protect consumer rights and interests. The Ministry of Finance urged public stock banks to speed up the allocation of funds and assist in referrals to alleviate the pressure of loan applications. News Focus. U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 100% tariff on semiconductor products, but those who invest or set up factories in the United States are exempt. The two companies rely on the advantages of American manufacturing, avoid tax risks, and can serve American customers nearby to improve cost competitiveness. Huawei's shipments are steady, the optical communication market is strong, and it is expected that operations will pick up in the second half of the year. IET received subsidies from the U.S. and Texas governments, actively expanded new factories, and the demand for indium phosphide substrates surged, driving annual performance growth and becoming an important driver of the semiconductor industry. News Focus. Trump announced a 100% tariff on semiconductor products sold in the United States, but Apple was exempted, giving its iPhone and MacBook a price advantage in the U.S. market, putting pressure on brands such as Asus and Acer. Asus competes with Apple in the mobile phone and laptop markets at the same time, which is even more challenging. Acer and Asus have responded in advance, but if other brands cannot be exempted, the cost will increase. In the future, the details of U.S. policies and brand adjustment strategies will affect the market competition. News Focus. Japanese diva Ayumi Hamasaki came to Taiwan to sing after 17 years, staying for 5 days and 4 nights. On the first day, he kindly signed his pet fans, and then changed to only group photos to avoid pushing accidents. She took her 20-year-old dancer rumored boyfriend Iraqi Shunyi with her, and the two celebrated at the Landscape restaurant on the 10,185th floor of Taipei after the concert. Ayumi Hamasaki was depressed due to the death of his dog and did not attend the private celebration dinner. During this period, she interacted with fans many times and showed affinity. Ayumi Hamasaki has 2 sons, and the outside world speculates that her boyfriend Junpei Araki is the father of the child, but she has not officially made it public and has clarified that it has nothing to do with Musk's sperm donation incident. News Focus DPP legislator Wang Yushuan criticized Taichung Mayor Liu Xian for using Liquid Foundation on a political commentary program, and was severely condemned by the Ministry of Gender Equality as "don't misogyny Taiwanese," but it triggered a big backlash within the Green camp. Party spokesman Zhou Guanting publicly refuted the Ministry of Gender Equality, criticizing its incomplete accusation procedures and lack of professionalism, and the Facebook page of the Ministry of Gender Equality was washed by a large number of negative comments. Senior media person Fan Kaiming described this turmoil as not just a fight within the party, but a civil war within the party, questioning whether the party's central committee has fallen into chaos. News Focus Wu Zongxian had high hopes for his female singer Maihusa, publicly calling her the 4th daughter and promising an unlimited publicity budget, but Maihusa and Chen Lingju had an affair and were photographed living together for 17 hours, which made brother Xian furious, publicly talking about freezing her in the freezer, and interviewed Maihusa's mother. Brother Xian emphasized that the family discipline should be in a dilemma, treat others, and criticize Maihusa for not informing the interaction, so that he spent tens of millions of publicity in vain. At the same time, he praised the rising star Chen Shaoan, saying that he was well prepared and had a moving singing skills, and reminded him to cherish his feathers and not let his parents be humiliated. Chen Shaoan shared the story of his determination to pursue his dreams in high school, showing his firm determination. News Focus This year's number 11 Typhoon Pajal was formed at 2 a.m. this year, and the Central Meteorological Administration predicted that its path would move towards the Bashi Strait, while the Japan Meteorological Agency believed that the typhoon could hit Taiwan. Meteorological experts pointed out that the typhoon's path is mainly affected by the strength of the Pacific high pressure, with the strong high pressure moving south to the Bashi Strait and the weak heading towards Taiwan. Due to the rapid development of willows, it is expected to be closest to Taiwan or the Bass Strait from Wednesday to Friday next year, and the intensity may reach above the middle Taiwan. The public needs to continue to pay attention to the latest meteorological information and pay attention to safety. News Focus K. Wins, former chairman of the People's Party, had just celebrated his 66th birthday, and when the North Court tried the Jinghua City and political donation case, K lost control of his emotions, scolded the prosecutor in court and threw materials and water bottles, and his wife Chen Paiki cried bitterly when he heard the news. Former legislator Chu Yi pointed out that K's judicial persecution was the biggest obstacle to Li Qing's power expansion, and emphasized that there was no reasonable reason to detain K at present, criticizing the prosecution for abusing the interrogation process. Chu Yi believes that K Wins is a symbol of the ideals of young people, and calls on the society to teach Li Qing the lesson in hope that justice will be upheld by the judiciary. News Focus In the Asian Cup men's basketball tournament, the Chinese team defeated the 6th-ranked Philippines and 15th Iraq in a row to win 2 consecutive victories, and was underestimated by the FIBA ranking 12th out of 16 teams before the game. Before this year's Asian Cup, Taiwan's strength was neglected, but the Chinese team showed strong strength and once again challenged the expectations of the outside world after winning the top 12 baseball tournament last year. Next, the Chinese team will face number 3 New Zealand and strive to achieve another good result. News Focus Gao Minmin is known as the hottest nutritionist and often shares her life in the community. She recently posted a beautiful photo of her bikini vacation in Kaohsiung, showing her slender legs and good figure, which attracted many fans to amaze. But she also admitted that it is not easy to take beautiful photos with 2 children, and it is often necessary to avoid the angle, and mothers resonate very much when they see it. Some netizens laughed and said that behind the mother's beautiful photos, the child is often funny and making faces, and this Joe angle seizes the moment. Kung Fu is really a mother's superpower. News Focus Xiao S experienced deep grief because of the death of Big S, and the suspension of work for more than half a year shows the depth of his pain. Now it is rumored that she will resume work in October to host the Golden Bell Awards, and will especially remember Big S at the ceremony, which not only symbolizes her gradual emergence of the haze, but also makes fans feel her courage and strength. I hope that this Golden Bell Award can become an important moment for Xiao S and his family to heal their souls, and also let everyone miss the good memories of DS together. News Focus Electronic music diva Xie Jinyan still maintains a hot body and firm skin at the age of 50, and the secret lies in self-discipline and correct diet. She emphasized that the key to anti-aging is that aging is not age, but the moment you give up on yourself, avoid sunbathing, staying away from tobacco, alcohol, sugar, and processed foods, and pay attention to physical and mental balance. Xie Jinyan admitted that staying up late affected her health when she was young, and decided to change her lifestyle and focus on her career as a singer. She reminded that medical aesthetics is only an auxiliary, and the real freezing of age depends on daily details and healthy diet, emphasizing that eating the right food is the first step in fighting aging. News Focus The master of absurdity, Shen Yuan, was recently diagnosed with blood cancer, shocking the entertainment industry. Wu Zongxian, the king of variety shows, expressed concern at Chen Xiaoyun's press conference, revealing that the other party was skinny and worried about her condition when he saw Shen Yulan last time. Wu Zongxian said that he would fully assist Shen Yulan and care about her family. In terms of his own health, Wu Zongxian laughed and said that the results of regular health check UPS were good, his liver and kidneys were healthy, his eyesight was good, and he even joked that he could have another child to his son, showing a relaxed and optimistic attitude. News Focus joking about Taiwan actress Li Yura, Chen Manfei, who has been taking care of her son Niu Niu, who suffered from a rare disease AADC, died suddenly in her sleep on the 28th of last month at the age of 15. Today, 7th, she revealed that Niu Niu had been cremated yesterday and cut off her hair to make jewelry and carry it with her to keep the whole body. Li Yura also sadly said that the foreign domestic helper she had been with for a long time was taken away by the agent, which made her very sad and lamented the difficulty of life and death. News Focus artist Shen Yulan was diagnosed with blood cancer, and Chen Sankai, an oncologist at Taipei Rongzhong, reminded that the initial symptoms of leukemia such as coma and liver inflammation are not easy to detect, and the course of the disease develops rapidly, and acute leukemia can deteriorate rapidly within 1 to 2 months. Symptoms include anemia, bleeding and an increased risk of infection, and seek medical attention as soon as possible if multiple symptoms occur. The diagnosis is based on bone marrow biopsy, and the diagnosis is confirmed when the blood cancer cells exceed 20%. The treatment is mainly chemotherapy, and some patients need bone marrow transplantation, which has large side effects, and some patients may not be able to bear it and give up. Doctors call for early examination of unknown fever or bleeding symptoms and strive for early treatment. News Focus. The Sanli drama God Knows, produced and starred by Bai Bingbing, performed well, with a cable rating of 1.22 for the first broadcast, and climbed to 1.48 the next day, jumping to 4th place. She specially embarked on a Thanksgiving trip to thank the Xiantian God Temple of Hisheng Palace, which had assisted in the filming, and thanked the temple for its full support in providing free venue and manpower. Bai Bingbing revealed that she had been protected by Xiantian God for many years due to the misuse of the tree spirit, and deeply admired the piety and dedication of the palace lord Wang Miun. She also prayed for the good ratings, hoping that the floods in the central and southern regions would subside as soon as possible and allow the victims to return to normal life. News Focus. The well-known paparazzi Ge Saiki recently broke the news on the community that "Hey, where are you going, Dad?" actor was accused of cheating in marriage, busy dating fans, and even suspected of sending indecent photos, and also shifted the responsibility to the agent. As soon as the news came out, it quickly appeared on Weibo's hot search, triggering heated discussions and speculation among a large number of netizens, but Ge Saiki did not provide concrete evidence. The actor who was exposed to the news fought back with legal provisions, making Ge Saiki angrily scold the other party for scaring him. Due to the fact that the show has gone through 6 seasons and there are many male stars participating, it is difficult for netizens to judge the target of the revelation, and some people question Ge Saiki for unfounded and deliberate hype. News Focus. Vedic astrology points out that Cancer ascendant is the hardest hit in the first half of this year, and the turmoil in July and the influence of Mercury retrograde will slow down slightly after Mercury goes direct on August 11th, but on August 17th, the Sun will enter the Palace of Wealth, and Cancer will break the fortune due to intimate men. Numerologist Li Jingwei reminded that physical and mental health is the biggest issue for Cancer this year, and it is necessary to pay attention to influenza, viral infections, and urological and gynecological problems. The good news is that August is a month when overseas luck and mystical palaces are strong, which is suitable for engaging in physical, mental, and spiritual work or going abroad to relax. In terms of relationships, you should be careful of online romance traps to avoid falling into the fog of love. News Focus. This year's number 11 typhoon Yangliu formed at 2 a.m. this morning and is moving west-northwest at a speed of 15 km per hour. The Central Meteorological Administration predicts that next Tuesday, 12th, Yangliu will approach the southeastern waters of Taiwan, and there are currently 2 possible paths. One is through the Bashi Strait, and the other is directly through Taiwan. The intensity of Yangliu is expected to be a mild typhoon, which may weaken into a tropical depression as it approaches. Today and tomorrow, Taiwan will be cloudy to sunny, with sporadic brief rain in the southeast and the Hengchun Peninsula, and local thunderstorms in some areas in the afternoon. News Focus. Former U.S. President Trump accused Intel CEO Chen Liu of conflicts of interest on social platforms on the 7th and demanded his immediate resignation. The allegations are related to Senator Curtin's previous questioning of Chen's investment relationships with Chinese companies, which have invested in a number of Chinese companies, including Chinese military suppliers, and are still suspicious despite reports that he has divested some of his holdings. The incident has raised concerns about Chen Liu's role in U.S. China relations and security risks. Intel shareholders believe that Trump's move is to promote the company's return to the United States, showing its tough attitude. News Focus. Mild typhoon Yangliu was formed in the early hours of this morning, located about 2,660 km east of Luanbi, and is expected to approach the southeastern waters of Taiwan after the 12th, with the most obvious impact on the 13th and 14th, and there will be significant rainfall in the eastern half, and the Meteorological Administration does not rule out issuing a maritime typhoon warning. Today, Taiwan will be cloudy to sunny, with high temperatures and hot temperatures, up to 35 degrees in the western half, and high temperatures above 36 degrees in Greater Taipei and the mountainous areas in the central and southern regions. News Focus. The Executive Yuan was originally scheduled to review the special budget related to the general issuance of 10,000 yuan in cash on the 7th, but temporarily withdrew the case, raising doubts about whether it was variable. The administrative agency clarified that in addition to the adjustment of the 93 billion yuan industrial support plan, the general cash part is still compiled in accordance with the third reading provisions of the legislative yuan, and there is no wealth exclusion clause. The total special budget is 545 billion yuan, of which 235 billion yuan is for general cash, which must be disbursed by October 31st at the latest. The Ministry of Finance believes that the timeline is tight and needs to be considered holistically. All walks of life called for the release as soon as possible, and the Executive Yuan emphasized that it would be promoted in accordance with the law and constitutionally. News Focus. Physician Wei Xiang pointed out that drinking coffee immediately after waking up in the morning may lead to excessive cortisol, interfere with fat metabolism, cause fat accumulation and chronic inflammation, and may cause problems such as 3 highs and cardiovascular disease in the long run. He recommends drinking coffee 2 hours after waking up to avoid affecting the body's rhythm. In addition, coffee contains oxalic acid, which will inhibit the absorption of B complex, calcium, magnesium, etc., and coffee should be at least 1 hour apart from healthcare products, drugs, iron foods, and caffeinated foods. News Focus. Su Weining celebrated her 41st birthday on the 7th, and her friends restricted exposure of her recent photos of 8 months pregnant on IG, with a ruddy complexion and an obvious pregnant belly, showing that she was in good condition during pregnancy. She and Chu Ziyi have lived a low-key life since their marriage in 2021, and although they have not positively confirmed their pregnancy, they have been photographed with pregnant bellies many times, and Chu Ziyi's friends have also indirectly revealed the good news. The expected delivery date fell on this fall, and fans wished the expectant mother a safe and smooth birth. News Focus. Wang Zuxian, a 58-year-old actress who has been in the shadows for more than 20 years, was recently met by netizens in a supermarket in Vancouver, Canada, with a simple black t-shirt with denim shorts, ponytails, and Birkenstock slippers, showing a natural and simple lifestyle. Although the outfit is low-key, it is still difficult to hide the elegant temperament and slender legs, and is praised as fairy-like. She focuses on selecting ingredients and behaves calmly, and netizens praise her for leaving no trace in the years, and now she is comfortable to be herself to add a sense of warmth and reality, and some people point out that the Moxibustion hall she runs is nearby. News Focus. Former Taipei Mayor K. Wenz was detained for the Jinghua City case, and when he was interrogated on the 7th, he angrily threw a water bottle and exploded, criticizing the prosecution for asking for 28 years and 6 months in prison, which is heavier than rape and murder, and questioned the injustice of justice. He stressed that the city government administers in accordance with the law and is free of corruption, and said that he has been detained for 12 months and is close to his physical and mental limit. In court, his wife Chen Paiki cried, and the supporters were emotional. The presiding judge responded that there were clear reasons for detention and called for respect for judicial due process. K finally expressed his disappointment with Taiwan's judiciary, choking up and shouting, "What kind of world is this?" News Focus. Shen Yulin, a 57-year-old variety show eldest brother, confirmed that she had blood cancer and is actively undergoing treatment and waiting for bone marrow matching. On Father's Day, Fubon Angels Korean cheerleader Lee Yang posted a blessing on the community, emotionally shouting "Brother Yulin who is as warm as a father," saying that she will always cheer for him and wait for him to recover. The post attracted more than 50,000 netizens to support, and they left messages hoping for Shen Yulin's speedy recovery and return to the fluorescent screen. The entertainment industry also continues to send blessings, hoping that Brother Yulin will survive the difficulties and bring laughter again. News Focus. Wang Yushuan, a non-district legislator of the Democratic Progressive Party, was criticized by the outside world for criticizing Taichung Mayor Liu Zhihuyan's makeup and liquid foundation prices on a political commentary program, and the party's Ministry of Gender Equality even issued a document condemning her remarks as misogynistic Taiwanese. However, new Taipei City Councillor Zhou Guanting publicly criticized the Ministry of Gender Equality for mishandling it, setting off a debate inside and outside the party. Wang Yushuan appeared in the Legislative Yuan today, 8th, and responded with a smile when asked by the media whether he was a gaffe and whether he was a misogynist. The incident continued to spark heated discussions on the internet, and differences within the party also surfaced. News Focus. U.S. President Donald Trump announced a 100% tariff on semiconductors, but those who have set up factories in the United States or promise to set up factories can be exempted, and TSMC will be exempted from tariffs due to the expansion of investment in the United States, and its stock price soared to a new high of 1,180 yuan intraday. Kuomintang Chairman Zhu Liluang criticized the Lai government's backward strategy, but was refuted by senior analysts as completely layman, and pointed out that if Zhu follows, TSMC may have to swallow heavy taxes. Netizens also countered that Zhu's remarks were inconsistent with the stock market, sarcastically saying that his remarks exposed his shortcomings. News focus: the Han River in Seoul, South Korea, has recently appeared suspected to belong a giant black unidentified creature 6 to 10 meters long. YouTuber story: during night fishing, strange creatures were photographed swimming slowly, and the exposure of the video sparked heated discussions. Netizens speculated that it might be a group of otters, but some questioned its swimming pattern, while others speculated that it was an abandoned large pet python or crocodile. The creature is stout and may have more than one, and its true identity has not yet been confirmed, making it a hot topic on the Korean internet. News focus: Shen Yulin was admitted to the 3rd General Intensive Care Unit and referred to National Taiwan University Hospital for treatment due to acute myeloid leukemia. In addition to chemotherapy, the hospital will also evaluate the possibility of a bone marrow transplant. Since the heart, liver, lungs, and kidneys are all damaged, supportive therapy is currently prioritized to stabilize the condition, and follow-up treatment will be arranged after the organ condition is stabilized. National Taiwan University Hospital said that due to the privacy of patients, it is inconvenient to disclose the detailed condition without the consent of the family. News focus: the official document of the United States announced that it would impose a 15% tariff on Japanese goods exported to the United States, which is different from the Japanese government's original recognition of the 15% reciprocal tariff. Japan's Minister of Economic Revitalization, Ryo Akazawa, is negotiating with U.S. officials to request that Japan be included in the special provisions and announce a plan to reduce automobile tariffs. Japanese netizens believe that this move is Trump's pressure and even retaliation against Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Economic commentators analyzed that the lack of written and plain agreement in the US-Japan negotiations reflects Trump's tough and unpredictable negotiation methods. News focus: last week, a man surnamed Wu held a female employee hostage with a kitchen knife at Baiyun Temple in Dharma Drum Mountain, Taichung. After the police were reported to the scene, the investigation captain Tuz Haihong cleverly approached and subdued Wu Nan with a knife in the tiger's mouth, and the employee was released unharmed. Wu Nan had repeatedly complained and sent threatening letters for not being admitted to university courses, and after being arrested by the police, the Taichung District Prosecutor's Office was allowed to detain him on charges of obstruction of liberty and intimidation. The temple responded in a low-key manner, thanking and continuing to care for the frightened employees and Wu Nan's situation. News focus: OpenAI announced that from now on, the new generation of GPT-5 models will be available to users around the world, including unpaid users. At the same time, in order to prevent competitor poaching, OpenAI paid about 1,000 R&D employees $1.5 million, about NT $44.7 million, each with a total cost of more than $1.5 billion. This move reflects the fierce competition for AI talent, with tech giants investing heavily in the competition for top talent. OpenAI has recently reached 700 million users, annual revenue of about $13 billion, and completed $8.3 billion in financing, with stable finances and strong support for talent strategy. News focus: William has not publicly apologized since the Flash incident in May, and today on Father's Day, he apologized for the first time in a long post to his children on Facebook. He admitted that his past mistakes had caused trouble to his partners, and he was deeply sorry and willing to take responsibility. William said that as a dad, he wants to be a proud father to his children and emphasizes the importance of facing mistakes bravely. He thanked his children for the meaning of life, and was willing to work hard to change step by step to become a better father, and finally wished fathers all over the world a happy Father's Day. News focus: Major Chen of the Army's 2nd Regional Support Command was recorded by the military for using a stun baton to shock his subordinates 7 times, and was dismissed and suspended from his position for 3 years. Chen refused to submit an administrative lawsuit, lost the first trial, and appealed to the Supreme Administrative Court, but it was still rejected, and the judgment was finalized. Chen repeatedly shocked multiple subordinates at different times and places between 2019 and 2020 on the grounds of testing, causing physical and mental injuries and damaging the unity of the troops. The court held that Chen, as an officer, should lead by example, and his behavior violated laws and regulations and harmed the dignity of his subordinates, and the military punishment was legal. News focus: Sweet potatoes are known as the god food for cancer prevention, rich in proteases, chlorophyll, and antioxidants, which can protect cells, prevent aging, and especially help prevent lung cancer. Traditional Chinese medicine physician Yu Yan reminded that sweet potatoes are best in the morning, eat before 6:30 and defecate before 7 o'clock to absorb 90% nourishing and achieving the effects of replenishing qi, promoting metabolism and slimming. Eating in the afternoon or evening is easy to accumulate sugar, but it is fat and tired. In addition, sweet potatoes are suitable for replacing children's snacks and can help improve allergies. However, sweet potatoes should not be eaten with persimmons, otherwise it is easy to form gastric persimmon stones, leading to gastrointestinal problems. Correct timing and matching are very important, and eating the wrong thing can hurt the body. News focus: The 59-year-old Hong Kong King Aaron Kwok announced that he will sing at the Kaohsiung Dome on November 8. Aaron Kwok and mainland internet celebrity Fang Yuan, who is 21 years younger than him, have 2 daughters after marriage, and announced in June that they would welcome their 3rd child. Fang Yuan posted a family photo on her 38th birthday. Her pregnant belly was slightly visible but her body was slender, and Aaron Kwok sweetly hugged his wife to celebrate her birthday, overflowing with happiness. Fans found that Fang Yuan's nose became bigger, which was rumored to be a sign of giving birth to a boy, and Hong Kong media also pointed out that the 3rd child was a baby boy, but the couple did not disclose their gender. Aaron Kwok expressed respect for God's arrangement. Both men and women accepted it, showing a warm family atmosphere. News Focus Taichung Mayor Liu Zihuan had complete makeup during the disaster survey, but was ridiculed by DPP legislator Wang Yushuan for using 2,400 yuan of liquid foundation, causing controversy. Internet celebrity Marka Wife said that the 2,400 yuan foundation is a normal price, and she feels that there is no need to make a fuss, and believes that this matter is not the same as misogyny, but it is caused by men not understanding the price of women's skincare products. She emphasized that if you criticize the expensive foundation based on age, it is misogynistic. This remark aroused the support of netizens, who believed that Wang Yushuan was just a political hatred of the rich, and reflected that most men did not understand that women's products were expensive. News Focus ChatGPT. TSMC broke out a case of resigned engineers colluding with in-service employees to steal 2nm chip process technology, and Chen Nan, Ji Nan, and Wu Nan were detained and banned in accordance with the national security law. The 3 people have excellent backgrounds but self-destruct their future due to greed for money, and the news has attracted social attention. TSMC will impose the most serious 5-level penalty in history, which will implicate a wide range of people and may even affect the vice president level senior management. One of the people involved in the case was inexperienced, but he showed off his wealth to buy a mansion, which shocked his colleagues. The company is investigating the leaked information and the ultimate beneficiaries to strictly prevent subsequent harms. News Focus in summer, cockroaches are infested in large numbers, and Japanese experts remind cockroaches to close their breathing holes and survive in the water for 40 minutes. Japanese physician Lin Yuzhang suggested that cockroaches should be wrapped or sealed in toilet paper and discarded after being found to avoid blockages caused by flushing into the toilet. Cockroach killing methods include the use of insecticides, slippers, or high-concentration alcohol, which can paralyze the cockroach's nerves and close the breathing holes, effectively eliminating cockroaches and not easily affecting the environment. News Focus Taiwan's 20% reciprocal tariff on the United States officially took effect on the 7th, and the Executive Yuan has launched a support program to assist the affected industries in adjusting. The semiconductor industry has been partially exempted, but traditional industries are generally complaining, and some industry owners describe the current situation as there is no waiting for death, there is only waiting for death, with few orders and high tariff pressure, making it difficult to survive. The executive branch emphasized continued consultations with the United States, and President Lai Ching-te said that tariffs are a dynamic process and will try their best to reduce tariffs. The industry criticized the government's slow support and hoped that the progress of public negotiations would avoid a setback in market confidence. News Focus: the United States began to implement new mutual tariffs on the world on the 7th, and Japan originally verbally agreed with the United States to raise the tariff rate below 15% to 15%, and the tax rate above 15% will remain unchanged. However, the actual measure of the United States is to impose a uniform 15% tax on all goods, resulting in a tax rate of more than 30% on some items, causing strong dissatisfaction in Japan. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba was questioned for his incompetence for not signing a formal agreement, and the parliament faced a serious backlash, and some political parties even filed a no-confidence motion. Experts analyze that Trump may overturn the agreement, exacerbating the contradictions between the two sides. Japanese officials went to the United States to negotiate, emphasizing that they would retroactively refund taxes in excess of the agreement and hope to amend the executive order. News Focus: in April, the Aviation Police Department seized a drug smuggling case in which a 22-year-old French model was invited by a drug cartel to travel to Thailand on the condition that he help transport drugs back. When the man was transiting at Darwin Airport, the luggage X-ray machine found something unusual, and 37.86 kilograms of marijuana were seized after opening the box. The police transferred him to the Darwin District Prosecutor's Office for investigation and prosecution in violation of the regulations on the prevention and control of drug hazards. The Aviation Police Bureau stressed that it will continue to strengthen investigations and remind the public not to be involved in drug smuggling due to greed for reward, and violators can be sentenced to up to life imprisonment and fined. News Focus: a wife in Taichung accused her husband of cheating on her child's kindergarten teacher in 2024, and the two had frequent private interactions and intimate relationships, and the teacher was also married. The wife filed a lawsuit in accordance with the Civil Code for compensation of 500,001 yuan. The kindergarten teacher admitted to the relationship but admitted that the compensation was too high and was only willing to pay 60,000 yuan in installments. After the trial, the judge found that the teacher had violated the rights of his spouses, and considering his financial situation and family burden, he awarded 250,000 yuan in compensation, and the case can still be appealed. News Focus: on the afternoon of the 7th, the National Immigration Agency's Taipei City Special Team entered the campus without prior notice to the National Taiwan University campus and intercepted the public, causing students doubts. National Taiwan University immediately contacted the National Immigration Agency to request communication, and the National Immigration Agency and the Workforce Reconstruction and Utilization Office went to explain and apologize on the same day, promising to respect campus autonomy in the future and strengthen prior contact. The National Immigration Agency emphasized that the inspection targets on that day were only stall employees and the children of an illegal employer, and if the students were not checked, Vietnamese missing migrant workers and illegal employers were seized, and they would be transferred to the court for punishment in accordance with the law. News Focus. According to the latest poll by Formosa Electronic News, Liking's satisfaction with his administration is only 34.6% and trust is 37.2%, and Chairman Wu Zejia predicts that it may fall below 30% by the end of the year, which will affect the 2026 local elections and the 2028 presidential election. If he loses Kaohsiung or Tainan in 2026, Liking may face pressure from within the party to step down, and he may not run for election on behalf of the DPP in 2028. Wu Zejia believes that there will be no three-legged governor in 2028, and if the blue and white duel continues, Liking has almost no chance of winning with his current support. News Focus. The Legislative Yuan passed the special regulations on strengthening the resilience of economy, society, people's livelihood and national security in response to the international situation, which allocates 235 billion yuan to distribute 10,000 yuan in cash per person, which must be completed before October 31st. The National Treasury Administration of the Ministry of Finance said that it was difficult to distribute within the time limit, and Kuomintang legislator Wang Hongwei criticized the Minister of Finance and the Controller General for inaction, calling on the Executive Yuan to quickly implement the regulations and not delay or change the target of general distribution, emphasizing that the Universal Cash Fund for the whole people is 10,000 yuan per person, and opposes the exclusion of wealth. News Focus. President Lai Ching-te delivered a speech at the Kitagalan Forum, saying that the CCP's military actions challenged the international order and caused dissatisfaction among the CCP. Zhu Fenglian, spokesperson for the Taiwan Affairs Office of the State Council, criticized Lai King as a peacebreaker and a war trafficker. Subsequently, the People's Liberation Army dispatched 57 military aircraft, 6 ships and 4 official ships from the 7th, almost surrounding the Taiwan Sea and airspace from north to south, which is highly provocative. The Ministry of National Defense said that the National Army closely monitored and took countermeasures. This move is seen as a response to Lai King's Taiwan independence rhetoric and the so-called democratic confrontation with authoritarian narrative. News Focus. Artist Shen Yuan suffered from blood cancer, which attracted attention. Wu Kangzi, vice president of Zhongshan Medical University, said that blood cancer is bone marrow cancer, which will affect blood cell production, and blood cancer should be suspected and blood drawn as soon as possible when symptoms such as severe anemia, wheezing when walking, unknown bruising or abnormal fever of white blood cells appear. There are many types of blood cancer, and the treatment focuses on genetic testing, some require targeted drugs, and some require bone marrow transplantation. Bone marrow transplantation is a key therapy, and in recent years, semi-anastomosis transplantation technology has been improved, reducing the difficulty of matching, and using peripheral hematopoietic stem cells. The process is similar to blood donation, with low side effects. News Focus. MSCI announced the latest quarterly adjustments. Taiwan's Global Standard Index added Kangpei, 6,919, and Chuanhu, 2059, deleted Pochen and Runtaxin and transferred to the Global Small Index. The Global Small Cap Index added 7 new Taiwan stocks, including Hai, 5,439, Zhitong, 8,932, Fujio, 1,815, Yunnan Technology, etc. On the 8th, the stock price performed well, with Hai and Zhitong hitting record highs intraday, and Kangpei, Fuqiao, and Yunnan Technology also rising. Taiwan stocks maintained a weight of 2.05% in the MSCI Global Market Index, while the Emerging Markets Index and the Asian ex-Japan Index were slightly lowered. The latest adjustments will take effect at the close of trading on August 26. News Focus. Benefiting from the benefits of semiconductor tariff exemptions, TSMC, 2,330, pushed Taiwan stocks up 556.41 points on August 7 to close at 24,003.77 points, setting a new high in 2025 and the third highest in the past 2 years. 17 Taiwan stock ETFs performed strongly simultaneously, with active ETFs such as QNY Taiwan Strong Stick, 00982A, leading the gains in high trading volume, highlighting the advantages of active stock selection. Manager Chen Yuanyi pointed out that active ETFs can flexibly adjust their holdings to reduce risk and pursue excess returns. With the lifting of tariff suspense and the return of funds to semiconductors and value stocks, the market outlook is too much, and it is recommended to adopt a dual-track strategy to lay out growth and value stocks. News Focus. According to the 1111 Manpower Bank survey, Taiwanese men are generally under a lot of pressure, with nearly 95% of respondents feeling stressed, of which 40.5% are stressed and 12.6% are above the table. The main sources of stress were household financial expenditure, 55.8%, long working hours, 40.5%, and lack of personal time, 35.1%. More than 40% of men have to pay more than 70% of their salary to cover their household expenses, and 12.2% or even all of their salaries are paid, with the main expenses including daily life, mortgage, and children's education. Although society has shifted to dual-income families, men still bear more financial burdens, and economic pressure has discouraged many unmarried men from marriage and childbearing. 54% of men support both husband and wife to work, and the high cost of parenting has also become a source of stress. News Focus: the new U.S. reciprocal tariff rate, which took effect on August 7, did not include Japan in the reduction target, which is inconsistent with the Japanese government's previous statement. After Japan's Minister of Economic Revitalization Ryomasa Akazawa urgently went to the United States for negotiations, the United States promised to amend the executive order to include Japan in the scope of reduction and refund the overpaid tariffs. The United States is also expected to issue a new order to reduce tariffs on automobiles. Akazawa said that the previous agreement between Japan and the United States was only an oral agreement and had no written basis, which temporarily increased Japan's tariff burden and aroused the concern and regret of Japanese public opinion. News Focus: in the face of the Trump 2.0 tariff war and the central bank's strict credit controls, Taiwan's housing market has made matters worse, with high housing prices, high interest rates, and low transactions as the main theme in the second half of the year. The number of completed houses on the supply side has increased, and the sales strategy has become more flexible. The demand side is under pressure, and home buyers have a strong wait-and-see mentality. The regional performance is differentiated, the transportation is favorable and the major construction areas are more supportive, and the pressure to correct housing prices in unthemed areas is high. The decline in the ratio of luxury home loans and strict control to curb buying. The investment and leasing market slowed down due to downward revision of economic growth and increased political and economic risks. The overall housing market has entered the era of individual performance, and MRT, reasonable total price, and cost-effective case sources will become the key to sales. News Focus: after the 726 recall, there were constant rumors of cabinet reshuffle, and Minister of Health and Welfare Chu Taiyuan and Minister of Economy Guo Zhihui were frequently named, especially Guo Zhihui faced tariff pressure and GAF turmoil, becoming a popular candidate for reshuffle. Today, 8th, the three attended the event with President Lai Ching-te, but their interaction was limited. In response to the 20% temporary tariff on Taiwan by the United States, the administrative agency has launched a number of support programs, including cooperation between the Ministries of Agriculture, Labor, Finance, and Economy, providing subsidy loans and transformation assistance. Legislators said that there is still room for negotiation on tariffs, and the government is actively responding, but whether the cabinet is reshuffled is still inconclusive, and the outside world continues to pay attention. News Focus: U.S. Commerce Secretary Lutnick said that President Trump met with Apple CEO Tim Cook and Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang to listen to industry opinions before announcing 100% tariffs on semiconductor products. The tariff goal is to bring semiconductor production back to the United States, targeting Taiwan, which accounts for about 90% of the world's production capacity. If semiconductor companies promise to complete the establishment of factories in the United States during Trump's tenure and apply to the Ministry of Commerce, chips exported to the United States during the construction period can be exempted from tariffs, and the policy takes into account the needs of industrial transformation and transition periods. News Focus: Kuomintang legislator Su Keoxen's sister Lu Xiongja and brother-in-law Du Bingcheng were involved in money laundering for a fraud group and were sentenced heavily in the first instance. Yesterday, 7th, outside the second instance court, Du Bingcheng suddenly accused that it was Su Keoxen who asked me to plead guilty, which Su Keoxen strongly denied, and said that the two had no contact, denounced Du Yuja's illness, and called on the court to increase the sentence. Su Keoxen emphasized that he hates fraud the most and regrets his family's involvement in the case. She was diagnosed with the new crown after a verbal altercation with a DPP legislator a few days ago, and she still continues to supervise state affairs, and her housework has been exposed and attracted social attention. News Focus: some passengers took a well-known cruise ship to visit Ishigaki Island in Japan, but their rooms were flooded in the early morning of the last night, and their luggage and souvenirs were all in vain. Passengers reported that the operator only said that he had changed rooms and dried his luggage with a blower, and did not officially apologize, which was quite dissatisfied. The carpet in the room and corridor is seriously waterlogged, which affects the mood of traveling. Passengers were woken up by a vacuum cleaner in the early morning, and they waited for more than an hour to change rooms, and there were still many complaints from passengers at the counter in the morning. The operator had not responded by the time of writing, and the passengers said they did not want to recall this unpleasant experience. News Focus: an engineer surnamed Chen, who jumped to a major Japanese equipment factory, was suspected of colluding with 9 engineers of TSMC to remake a large number of 2nm process secrets, and the wealth of the people involved increased sharply, and they spent 80 million yuan to buy 2 mansions. The prosecution has claimed that the detention of 3 Tsinghua gang engineers has been approved, and TSMC is rumored to be offering the most severe punishment of 5 levels of joint punishment. TSMC responded that it has severely punished the people involved and taken legal action, emphasizing zero tolerance for violators of trade secrets, and the details of the case are inconvenient to disclose due to judicial procedures. News Focus artist Yang Shenda announced the good news on Father's Day. His 40-year-old wife Ruoki successfully became pregnant, and the two finally welcomed their first baby after 4 years of marriage. Yang Shenda and Ruoki are well-known couples in the entertainment industry, who have been in love for 12 years and often share their lives in variety shows. The couple has experienced many challenges during this period of difficulty in preparing for pregnancy for 2 years, and even tried artificial insemination. After announcing the good news today, fans sent their blessings and were happy for them to welcome a new life. News Focus artist Shen Yulan was diagnosed with blood cancer and shocked the entertainment industry, and his friend Wu Zongxian revealed at the press conference of Chen Xiaoyun's new song yesterday that he was very worried when he saw Shen Yulan thin and sallow, and expressed his willingness to help at any time, wishing him a speedy recovery. Wu Zongxian also shared that he has regular health checkups every year, is in good physical condition, and even joked that his hair is black and thick, and his interaction with Liu Zipei is full of humor and warmth. News Focus mainland actress Zhao Lucy opened live broadcasts to interact with fans for several days due to a contract dispute with the agency Galaxy Cool Entertainment, which detonated huge traffic although it was not for profit. She casually tore up a pack of kudzu tea during her live broadcast, prompting the number of orders for the brand to soar to the sum of 7 or 8 years in one day, and the online store poured in more than 40,000 people. The person in charge of the brand said that Zhao Lucy did not charge an endorsement fee, which was an unexpected joy. Zhao Lucy's live broadcast content is real and humorous. Coupled with controversial topics, it has become the most watched focus of the mainland summer file, with more than 20 million fans. News Focus after May Day Ashen successfully facilitated the F4 combination, it is reported that he had contacted Wu Qilong, a member of the Little Tigers, hoping to promote the merger of the Little Tigers. Wu Qilong said he was happy to see it succeed, but Su Yupeng and Chen Zhupeng were still looking for contact channels. Since the temporary disbandment of the Tigers in 1991, the members have developed independently, and in recent years there have been occasional duo combinations, but all three have been together for more than 10 years. Ashen hopes to recreate the style of the Little Tigers in the 90s, but the combination still needs to be worked on, and the company has not responded to the relevant rumors. News Focus SOD, a well-known Japanese adult film company, announced the signing of the first Taiwanese exclusive AV actress Sai Sai Itsuki, Chinese stage name Sai Sai. As an internet celebrity, she has a sweet appearance and trilingual skills in Chinese, Japanese, and English, and successfully debuted in an active interview. Zai Zai was moved to say that dreams come true and shared his feelings with tears in the midst of community restrictions. Her new work is available and reservations were opened on the 8th, and the promotional video was exposed simultaneously, attracting widespread attention. News Focus singer Yan Zhu has turned to behind-the-scenes development in recent years, and today, 8th, Father's Day happily announced that he will be promoted to become a father and share baby ultrasound photos. He revealed that the couple originally wanted to conceive naturally, but started trying IVF treatment 2 years ago, and the process was like a roller coaster, full of hope and loss. Yan Zhu thanked the clinic and his wife for their efforts and will share more experiences one after another. News Focus after being shot in Chi last month and being shot 12 times in a car, 2 beverage shops in Yulan and Pingtung were recently splashed with suspected feces late at night. Police have arrested 4 suspects and continue to trace the motive. Pineapple people abroad spoke out for the first time to emphasize that they did not know the suspect, and choked, "I will know you soon." News Focus a shirtless man was found lying on the ground, and firefighters confirmed that he had been dead for a long time after arriving at the scene. The deceased is suspected to be a 46-year-old homeless man surnamed Peng, with no obvious trauma at the scene, only a medicine bag left. The police initially ruled that he may have died suddenly, but because he had claimed to have broken his ribs due to a conflict with someone a few days ago, whether there is a connection still needs to be further investigated and clarified. News Focus the well-known host Shen Yulan recently confirmed that she suffered from leukemia and has been transferred to National Taiwan University Hospital for treatment, and is temporarily unable to undergo chemotherapy and bone marrow transplantation. He posted in the community that the treatment will last for a period of time, and he will temporarily leave the fluorescent screen and fully cooperate with the treatment. After the news was exposed, friends in the entertainment industry expressed their concern and blessings, hoping that he would recover as soon as possible and return to the stage. News Focus former U.S. President Donald Trump announced tariffs of up to 100% on all imported semiconductors, exempting only companies that promise to set up factories in the United States, emphasizing the need to regain dominance in high-tech manufacturing in the United States. He named Taiwan and TSMC, criticized companies for moving manufacturing, and said that TSMC's investment in the United States has dropped to $200 billion, which is still higher than the official announcement of 165 billion. This policy may impact Asian semiconductor exporters, force supply chain restructuring, and may push up the price of U.S. electronic products in the short term, and in the long term, it will be conducive to manufacturing returning to the United States. News Focus: A citizen was diagnosed with Chugong's disease after returning to Taiwan from Foshan, Guangdong, China, which attracted attention. The CDC reminds that in addition to joint pain, patients may also experience symptoms such as headache, nausea, vomiting, and rash, some of which may last for several months, especially in high-risk groups. At present, there are no specific drugs or vaccines, and the prevention and control is mainly against mosquitoes. If people have suspected symptoms, they should seek medical attention as soon as possible and avoid being bitten by vector mosquitoes to reduce the risk of community transmission. News Focus: The 114,074 issue of the lottery opened the highest jackpot of 597 million yuan in the past 5 years, which was sold by the Beizhou Lottery Company in Yangwuli, Taitung City, and one person won the prize with a computer number 2 bet of 100 yuan, and the prize money must be collected before the end of October, but the winner has not yet appeared. Miss Fan, the store owner, said that this was the first time she had won the jackpot since its opening, and when she received the notice, she was shocked that she had been scammed, and laughed that the maid Raya Buddha in the store might bring good luck. After the lottery, the buying momentum increased greatly, and the guests were keen on various combo games. The Ministry of Finance reminds that high prize winners must first call the hotline to make an appointment to redeem the prize to protect privacy. News Focus: US President Trump named Intel's new CEO Chen Liu to resign immediately on the 7th, questioning his close ties with Chinese officials, raising concerns about information security and national security, and Intel's stock price fell 3.14% to $19.77. The incident is related to the concerns of Republican Senator Cotton, who recently sent a letter to the board. Trump has recently made a big move to promote semiconductor policy. In addition to announcing a 100% tariff on overseas chips, it is also rumored that he intends to let TSMC intervene in Intel. Analyst L. Using Z criticized Intel as a dough that can't be lifted up and worried that TSMC's involvement in the political storm will affect its focus on R&D and market layout. News Focus: Shen Yulin's diagnosis of blood cancer has attracted attention, and the state banquet chef Lei Yizong revealed on the program that a pastry chef friend in his 30s who went to China to work for a long time ate barbecue and fried chicken with wine after get off work, and after returning to Taiwan, his health examination data was abnormal and he was diagnosed with blood cancer. Lei Yizong recalled that he had accompanied the other party to draw bone marrow, and his friend collapsed in the rain and cried bitterly, making it difficult to accept the condition. He lamented that eating habits are closely related to health and reminded not to overconsume meat to reduce the burden on the body. News Focus: A long-term study of 36,000 adults aged 40 to 69 showed that those who drank artificially sweetened beverages daily had a 38% increased risk of diabetes, which was higher than the 23% increase in sugary drinks per day. Studies speculate that artificial sweeteners may alter the gut flora and interfere with insulin secretion and sensitivity, even if obesity factors are excluded. Experts remind that sugary and artificially sweetened drinks are not safe, and the healthiest options are water, sugar-free tea, black coffee, or sparkling water, and the sweetness should come from an appropriate amount of natural fruit. News Focus: Wu Zongxian once spent a lot of money to cultivate singer Mai Husa and regarded her as the fourth daughter, but she faded out for a year after spending the night with Chen Lingzhu last year. Wu Zongxian attended the film release of his singer Chen Shaoan yesterday, admitting that Mai Husa had been frozen, and criticized her for not knowing how to get along with her boss and wasting tens of millions of investment in the record department. He emphasized that if an artist falls in love, he should inform the company, otherwise he may be frozen, and sour Mai Husa's promiscuous boyfriend angers the boss. To Chen Shaoan, he said that normal communication is fine, but he needs to focus on his career. News Focus: Although Taiwan's #1 model Lin Chiling is over 50 years old and has become a mother, she still maintains a perfect figure and beauty, and often shares her life in the community. She recently released a mukbang video of her eating instant noodles at home and during transit periods on Zaya Hongshu, unabashedly sucking noodles, showing the charm of real contrast. Lin Chiling admitted that she loves instant noodles very much, and she can have a bowl at any time, and shouted, "It's delicious and I love to eat next time." After the video was exposed, it sparked heated discussions, and netizens exclaimed that even she ate instant noodles, feeling that it was both close to the people and healing. News Focus: Nutritionist Xiaojing pointed out that cauliflower is rich in sulforaphane, indoles, and a variety of antioxidants, which have anti-cancer, anti-aging and heart-protecting effects. The latest research shows that cruciferous vegetable intake is positively correlated with breast cancer survival, bladder cancer recurrence time, and blood sugar control. Sulforaphane can activate detoxification enzymes, inhibit cancer cells and anti-inflammatory, indoles regulate hormones and support breast and prostate health. It is recommended to stir-fry or steam it for a short time to retain nutrients and eat it with fat and protein. Different varieties have their own characteristics and can be consumed alternately every day, but people with low thyroid, Poor kidney function and easy flatulence should pay attention.